Hi, welcome to lecture number 24 of Ultimate Python course. In this lecture, we will see about the return types of the function. Earlier, we have seen functions, and you know that function can return something. Now, let us see what are the various things a function can return. Okay, shall we start? And don't write the notes. Lecture slides and the notes are provided to you in the description. And I will be very slow while explaining. Watch my videos at 2x speed. So, return types in function. A function can return a value to the caller. Whenever you call a function, it can return a value, right? Now, how can it return? By using the return keyword. Okay. So, once a function returns a value, it will exist forever. For example, if you call a function, see, generally what happens is, let us say this is the main function. And main function is calling a function f. Now this f will run throughout. It will run its code, and then this will be deleted. This activation record will be deleted, popped off from the recursion stack, right? Or normal stack. Now whatever value it has returned, that will remain in the caller. That is what I am saying, right? Therefore, a function can return a value and it will exist forever. But the function will not exist forever. Once its execution is completed, it will be deleted from the stack. A function can return a value to the caller by using return keyword. So, the returned value can be used in subsequent parts of the code. So, whatever value is returned by a function, you can use it in the subsequent value of the parts of the code. The return statement marks the end of function's execution and provides the result. So whenever you type return, it means that is the end of the function. Whenever a function hits the return statement, it will not execute further, it will stop there. That is the end of the function, which means return is the end of the function. Now if you look at this function, squaring a number. Now square is a function which is taking a parameter x and it is returning x into x. Now whoever calls it can hold that value. For example, if I call square function by passing a value 9, here integer 9 into 9 is returned, 81 is returned. That is captured into a variable called square 9. Now whatever a function is returning, we are able to capture it in a variable. Now if I print that variable square 9, 81 is printed, which means you can get the return value into a variable and you can use that variable later, or sometimes if you don't want to store it in a variable, you can directly use the return type. You can directly use the function name. I will show you with the example. Okay. So now in this example, we are passing 10 to the function square and we are getting 100. The value whatever is returned is stored in square 10. Now that square 10 is printed, which is 100. Now you can call the function multiple times. For example, there is a function called square which is simply returning x into x when x is passed as a parameter. You can use it multiple times. You can call square 9 and store it in a variable, and you can call square 10 and store it in a variable, and then you can perform some operation on those variables. For example, I am adding both of them, which has given me 181 because square of 9 is 981 and square of 10 is 100. So what I mean to say is, whenever you have captured the value of the return type, you can use it in further expressions. Okay. Now, return value can be used directly in the expressions without storing them in the variable first, which means you can directly use the return type without storing them in the variable. For example, there is a add function which is returning the sum of two numbers that are passed. Now, you can directly use it in the expression. Add 10, 20, add 30, 40. You can directly use them in the expression without storing them in a variable. It will work. So if you want to print the result, 100 is printed. 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40. right? The result 100 is printed. What I'm saying is, whenever a function returns something, you can capture it in a variable and use it later, or you can directly use the return value by using the name of the function. Okay. In Python, a function can return multiple values. So this is something new. So if you look at other programming languages, it is different. So Python, you can return multiple values in a function. For example, let us say we have a list numbers. Now we are finding the minimum value of the numbers in the list, maximum value of the numbers in the list using min function and max function. So these two are predefined functions. Min and max are predefined in Python. You can use them directly, right? So by writing min of numbers, you are getting the minimum value. By writing max of numbers, you are getting the maximum value. Now I am storing them in variables, min number and max number, and I am returning both of them together, min number comma max number, right? So how will the Python return multiple values is, it will pack all the return values into a tuple. It will pack all the numbers into a tuple. Right? Therefore, you are going to get a tuple. When multiple values have to be returned, it will be packed in a tuple. Now understand this one. Let us say there is a list. We didn't talk about list yet, but just for this example I need it. So if you write some values inside square braces, it is a list. Okay. So we are passing this list to this function called getStats. GetStats is a function to which a list is passed. Now it is finding out the minimum value and it is finding out the maximum value in the list, and it is returning both of them. Right? Now, if you print what is returned by calling, for example, I am calling getStats function, and whatever it has returned, I am storing it in stats result variable. Now, if I print stat results variable, it will print a tuple, which means when multiple values have to be returned, they will be returned as a tuple. Now, you can unpack the tuple. So you can unpack it. So when we are getting a tuple as output, we can unpack it into different variables. For example, in the same previous example, you are finding min value, you are finding max value. Both min and max are found. Now, return min value and return max value. So return min number, max number. If I write like this, it is actually returning a tuple, right? So which means this getStats function, when it is passed a list of values, it is returning a tuple. Now that tuple is unpacked by writing two variables like this. So first value in the tuple will go into min value, and second value in the tuple will go into max value. Now if you try to print min value, it will print 8. If you try to print max value, it will print 120 for the previous example, right? So this one. So the min value is 8 and the max value is 120, which means when a function is returning multiple values, it will return it in a tuple, and if you don't want that to be in the tuple, you can unpack it into variables. Right? Now let us see what happens if we are returning 3 variables. For example, numbers is a list which is containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are passing this list to the function getStats. Now the function is finding out the minimum value, maximum value, and the average. How is it finding the average? It is writing sum of the numbers divided by number of numbers. Len is nothing but number. How many number of elements are there in the list, right? Now it is returning minimum, maximum, and average values. It is returning minimum, maximum and average values, which means it is returning a tuple of 3 values. Now you are here, this when you call this function, you are getting a tuple of 3 values. Now you are unpacking it in such a way that first value will go into this, second value will go into this, third value will go into this, FA, FB, FC. Now if you print FA, FB, FC, you are going to get 1, 5 and 3. 1, 5 and 3. Now sometimes there need not be any return value in a function. So once the entire code is executed, it will automatically return. Now when you are not returning anything in a function, it means that the function is returning none, N-O-N-E, none, which means not anything, N-O-N-E, none. In a function, if a function doesn't explicitly use the return statement, then none will be returned. For example, look at this example. There is a function called greet, and in that there is only one statement, welcome to Python chapter 2. Now there is no return to it. So if you try to capture what is written by greet, that will be none. That will be none. And what is the type of the result? That is none type. The type of the result is none type. Now let us see some examples. For example, if you want to find the sum of all numbers in a list, you can write a code like this. Let us say this is the list. I want to pass this list to sum list, and then I call sum function, sum sum, which is an inbuilt function. And if I write some numbers, then it will add all the numbers and give the total, and that total is captured in total, written total, right? You can play with it. You can simply write some few examples. I'm just giving you some examples. Now let us say I want area and parameter. Length and width are given. Area and parameter have to be found out, right? So the area is L into W. Perimeter is 2 into L plus W, right? Now you have two values to return. That is why you are writing like this: area comma perimeter. Now this area comma perimeter will be in a tuple. If you want to unpack it, you can unpack it. Otherwise, you can leave it, right? So now we are calling the function here by passing the value of 10 and 20 into length and width. Now whatever result we are getting, we are storing it in RES. Now when I print RES, it will print 260. It will print 200, which is the area, and 60, which is the perimeter. And what is the class of this? What is the type of the result? The type of the result is a tuple, which means we are getting the result in a tuple. Now if you want to unpack it, you can unpack it also, right? So we are calling area and parameter function by passing 10 to the length and 20 to the width, right? Now we are calling the function here. Now whatever is returned, it is a tuple of two values. Now first value is given to area underscore result. Second value is given to parameter underscore result. First value is area underscore result. Second value is parameter underscore result, right? Now you can print the area. You can print the area result, isn't it? By unpacking. This is called unpacking. Now you can see the type of area result. It will be integer. Earlier, the type of the result was a tuple. Now when I unpack it, the type of the result will become integer because they are integer values, right? Similarly, parameter result will be printed and the type of parameter will be integer. Let's see the results. See this. 200 is printed, which is the area, and it is of int type. 60 is printed, which is the perimeter, and it is int type. Okay, guys, it takes a lot of time and effort to create this course, and I'm giving it away for free. So if possible, okay, please like, share and subscribe only if possible, if it is okay with you. If you like the course, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, thank you. If you want to take my GATE classes, we go to the website ravindrababuravula.in and you are going to see all my GATE classes available there. Okay. So coming to the classes, they are all recorded. Why am I doing recorded? Why am I not doing live classes? Is I have thousands of students registering for my courses every year. But then if I conduct a live class, only 20 or 30 people will be there. 20 or 30, that's it. Maximum is 40 I had. The reason is live classes are little bit wasting your time. See, you cannot watch a live class at 2x speed. You have to watch at the pace at which I teach. Generally, I will be very, very slow while teaching. So if you can go through the live classes, you can watch them at 2x speed and you can complete the syllabus very fast. 400 plus hours content is there for GATE. And if you are going to watch them at normal pace, it will take 400 hours. But if you watch it at 2x speed, it will take just 200 hours, right? So if you want any of my GATE classes, GATE Computer Science or GATE DA, the price is just 10,000 rupees. It is very, very reasonable for the kind of quality we provide. We have test series, we have doubt sessions, we have videos, we have lecture notes for everything. Even you don't have to write any lecture notes. I will provide you lecture notes for every subject. You just have to sit back, watch the videos at 2x speed and revise the notes. Short notes will be provided, long notes will be provided, formulas will be written in the separate notes. Everything will be there provided to you. You don't have to work hard. And coming to, if you are planning to go abroad, we also have study abroad program. You can go through my number. My number is on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is in the website. If you are planning to do masters abroad, that is a very good choice. It is better than doing masters in India. So if you are planning to go abroad, we will help you out right from taking the passport to getting the visa, US visa, right? So we will help you out in the entire process. Okay. So do visit the website, see what is happening there. Even DSA course is there for 5,000 rupees, which is both in Python and C++. Okay. So thank you so much.